as expected. Well, our correspondent Archana Shukla has been there for all the drama this week and joins me now from Mumbai. Archana, just take us through what happened this week and where market sentiment sits right now.
Well, it has been a roller coaster ride for the Indian markets. We started with, quite a big highs on Monday after post-poll predictions showed that Prime Minister Modi's ruling party would have a thumping majority. But the verdict was split and it weakened the market. It crashed on Tuesday, losing more than 6% on the benchmark indices. Nearly $386 billion of money was lost in the markets just on one day, and which meant that all the gains that were made in this year were wiped out on a single day. But after that, the markets have sobered down. The shock element has gone away. There is a likelihood, that the ruling alliance will come back to power with help of the allies, and Prime Minister Modi will get a rare third term in power. Like you pointed out, there are concerns that investors have. They are watching the health of the coalition government that next comes into power, because that will define how fast India's economic growth progression moves and what would be the pace of the economic reforms. Some of the tougher ones may be difficult to go by at the same pace as we saw in the first or the second term of this ruling alliance. But certainly most economists feel that the India's inherent growth potential is very strong and it will continue to grow. Investors are also bullish. The long run for the Indian markets is going to be on the upward trajectory as well, and the rate decisions coming in also show the strength of the Indian economy.
But Archana, does the message from the voters at least give a slightly different verdict on the strength of the economy? Is it some sense that there's perhaps not as much trickle down as they would like?
There certainly is a widening inequality. The Inequality Lab, pointed out that just 1% of Indians, rich Indians, hold about 80% of the country's wealth, and that's a telling story of the widening inequality in the country. So while you have the prosperous urban centers where the Apples and the Teslas of the world want to sell their products to the aspiring middle class that has a higher purchasing power, but if you go on to the rural masses, and especially with the rising food prices and rising inflation in the last 2 years, it has been difficult for the larger masses. So that prosperity hasn't trickled down, and that certainly has reflected. What has also not worked with the voters this time was rising unemployment, especially among educated youth, where almost a quarter of those educated youth under 25 are unemployed. So these were some of the concerns on voters, and that also shows that the buoyancy of the Indian economy hasn't yet trickled down.
All right, Archana Shukla, thanks very much.